What's going on, everybody? Eric Lindquist at Stochastic here on the Odd Shopper channel, coming to you with another edition of Lindy's Leans, Lags, and Locks. Hit that like button, subscribe button, notification bell. All right. Goes a long way for me on this video, goes a long way for you. That way you become a prize whenever great content is going live here at our little neck of the YouTube woods. Twins up 2-0 here, bottom of the second. That's great stuff. Not great stuff. Ended up on Washington plus 1.5 on Lindy's Locks update. The line just kept moving. You get even money on Washington plus 1.5 there in that spot. I had to take a shot with the lefty starter Corbin. It's disturbing. It's disgusting. But you know what? Sometimes you just try to make the best bets that you can in real time. All the time. We're only here to try to make good bets. Because if I tried to give you bad bets, that would be stupid. Even though somebody in the comment section below, he's trying to sell you. He works for the books. I do not work for the books. I do not work for the books. The books, I try to make my little daddy. Like, no, that's the wrong. I try to make them my little you-know-what. Yeah, I'm here to make money. And yeah, if a book wants to give us an offer like bet $10, get $200 over at BetMGM, that's $4 $50 bet credits, and they just want to hand it out because they're like, you know what, I don't think you can beat me. Sounds great. I will take advantage of it. Now, I can't take advantage of it because I've already signed up at BetMGM, but you should take advantage of it if you're in one of these beautiful spots: Colorado, DC, Illinois, Indiana, Kansas, Louisiana, Maryland, Massachusetts? No, that's Missouri. There we go. New Jersey, Nevada, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Tennessee, Virginia, West Virginia, Wyoming. By the way, I can say the 50 states in order in less than 30 seconds. I'll do that at the end of this video. Reason to stick around. Probably less than 20 seconds if I had to guess. In order, 50 states. Yeah, I could do it. It's only if you're 21 and over, and if you have a gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER. But I just felt like a red background today. I'm just toying with some stuff, feeling it, wearing the red shirt, feeling fiery today for an 11-gamer on Thursday. Gonna be good stuff. We got producer Jacob on hand. Producer Jacob, let's get ourselves to the picks. Our day begins kind of not casually. We have back-to-back plays to begin our day. One of them, Cole Reagan's going up against Gibson Long. And this individual looks like he might be pretty good at pitching. Talked about him earlier. You add him to a staff that has Tariq Skubal, Eduardo Rodriguez, who said, no, try to make me trade to Los Angeles. Shout out Amy Winehouse. She was a real one. Great voice. Anyway, Cole Reagan's 279 xWOBA, but 326 expected slugging, 6.3% barrel percentage. Only thing he does from time to time is walk people, but he strikes out way more, 28.8%. We like him. Daddy likes him. Anyway, Sawyer, Gibson, Long. That sounds like a Mark Twain character, doesn't it? He's been awesome so far. 23.5% hard hit percentage to go with a 165 expected batting average, a 33.3% K rate. Now, I understand, Eric, sample size. It's a thing. Yes, sample size. Definitely something I always point to. But he's now had 3 starts in, had 5, 11, and 4 strikeouts. Yeah, that Angels lineup, that Angels matchup, that'll definitely inflate your numbers, that's for sure. But going back to AAA, 1.13 whip, 4.33 ERA, and 99 2/3 innings. That's between AA and AAA here at the minor league level. It's pretty good. So I don't expect a 2.40 ERA to continue and a 1.07 whip to continue because those numbers were a little bit worse at AA and AAA, but still pretty good. And this is a Kansas City lineup that's the closest thing to a quad A team that you can possibly run into on the daily. And we really like Cole Reagan's stuff. Walking a few too many guys, and obviously there's some righties who can make him pay in this lineup, $50 every day. Spencer Torkelson, pretty much the only one actually. But I'm looking at the under here to begin our day. Under 7.5, kind of a wild card. Not to just, out to tell you the answers to the test beforehand, but like, we have some unders on the card. There are no overs. We're getting into late September, early October baseball. Ball not flying far. Pitchers, definitely an advantage in some of these spots in the Midwest, the North here in Detroit. Oh, the North. It's not so bad. Oh, Detroit. It's not great. Under 7.5. We like that. That's great. Next up on our platter, we got the Oakland Athletics taking on the Minnesota Twins. Luis Funky Cole Medina going up against Sonny Gray, my freaking dude. Yeah, our pitching staff between Joe Ryan, Sonny Gray, Pablo Lopez absolutely spinning it early here against the Athletics, 5 Ks through 2. Kind of like the way that we have everything set up going into now. Joe Ryan as well. Got to throw Joe Ryan in. Those are 4 pretty adequate starters. I'm curious to see who we're going to end up starting come playoff time, and I think that that's going to be something that we try to decipher. I am going to be doing MLB Lindy's throughout the playoffs. Last season, we rode the Phillies to glory, bet them for the World Series, hedged out Game 3 of that World Series. it was a lovely, lovely postseason. Yeah, we bet them against St. Louis in that first round, bet them against the Padres. Everybody's on the Padres. People are singing, those old guys singing the whatever annoying song that was. Like, I know you hate my singing, but like when you're like, many go cruise, that's what's sin. Punch me in the face repeatedly and don't stop until I'm dead. Anyway, Sonny Gray, so far this season, he's been pitching really, really well. We like it. 2.80 ERA, 1.15 whip. Yeah, he would be one of those 3 starters that I would be utilizing no matter what, under any circumstances. And of course, that's why you're seeing minus 260 on the side of your screen. But I got to say, Tony Kemp not in the lineup here. And I know that sounds stupid, but like he's day-to-day right now with an injury. And one of the reasons I jammed Pablo Lopez in DFS, didn't end up betting his K-prop over in the old betting streets here, but just want to throw it out there. No Tony Kemp leading off here. This lineup strikes out a fudge ton, an absolute fudge ton here on the Oakland Athletics side. They are going to continue to strike out a fudge ton. It's like I'm on, what's that show? The Good Place on NBC. Holy fork. Or what the fork? Yeah. I say fuck from time to time. Sorry, Mom. Sorry, Dad. But anyway, Sonny Gray on the other, I mean, he's good. Luis Medina is absolutely dog crap horrendous. Now I'm conscious of it. Sorry if you're watching on speaker with your kids in the car. My bad. Luis Medina, 11.5% walk rate, terrible. 21.7% K rate, not ideal. 336 XOL, but yuck. Only thing he does is limit barrels from time to time, but doesn't really do it against lefties. And there are some lefties. Matt Wallner. Trevor Larnach, I think he's with the team right now, but Alex Kirilloff for sure in first base as well. Those are some lefties that are nice. Max Kepler, come on, Eric. Max Kepler, Wallner, Kirilloff. Julian ends up hitting a homer to lead off here in this spot too. Some serviceable lefties, and I don't exactly hate our righties. Wild to think that without Carlos Correa, without Byron Buxton, I still like the complexion of our lineup, especially against righties like Medina here. So kind of looking, if I do anything here, if I do anything whatsoever, which I have, Minnesota minus 1.5. We are looking on the run line yet again. Back-to-back days, Minnesota minus 1.5. This time, not a lock. Not a lock. We got 2 of those on an 11-gamer today, which is ironic because 16-gamer 2 days ago didn't really like anything. Like a lot more on this card. Minnesota, just a like half-unit play. The Arizona Diamondbacks taking on the Chicago White Sox here and going to the old playoff odds over at Fangraphs. Something I kind of keep close to the chest, but make sure that I'm looking at it constantly throughout the days. You got the Diamondbacks, a 96% chance to make the playoffs here, could end up clinching here tonight, and that would change the complexion of this game entirely. Now, it dictates like what ends up happening here with Miami. And as I group this by wild card here, looking at the NL, the Phillies clinched. The Diamondbacks 1.5 up here on the Cubs. The Cubs playing the Braves didn't end up on anything in that game here today. The Marlins sitting there a game back. Diamondbacks would be 2 up, carry the 1-1-2. They would be either clinched or like on the brink where if one good thing happens where they win a game on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, and then one of those 2 teams ends up losing, they would be in. But they want to still win baseball games even after clinching. That's why I kind of think it's stupid you'd like party down and go crazy and whatever else. Don't forget that boy told you to kick that dirt up. Honestly, I'm stalling because this Blake Jarvis fellow who's going to be starting for Arizona is absolutely terrible. There's a chance that they call up Slade Ciccone, who ended up getting sent back down to AAA Reno. Pretty much you're just using anybody that you have available in some of these spots. But he had a spot start here 3 weeks ago. Or sorry, not 3 weeks ago. Last week on the 22nd. And then 3 weeks ago, he made his last start previous to that. Anyway, I'm not explaining it very well. It doesn't really matter. All I know is that whoever starts here for Arizona is not going to be long for this baseball game. More of a glorified bullpen spot. Be paying attention to news. One of the things you can do to get the most value this time of season is just when a team clinches, bet whoever is on the other side of it immediately and just live with the results. Pittsburgh was that team today. Plus 185. You could have got plus 180. Closed closer to, well, actually it moved back towards the Philly side because Bryce Harper ended up in that lineup. But happened with the Twins that last Saturday, you were able to, after they clinched the AL Central, jam against them. Might be paying very close attention to something like this with Arizona too. Always good to go on Instagram and check it out. But Arizona Moneyline, that's going to be the link because Touki Toussaint, he's not very good. Touki Toussaint, even though I call my dog Dookie Toussaint from time to time, it's an adorable nickname and I love him and he's adorable. Arizona Moneyline, just a lean, probably not going to bet it. the namesake. I'm from South Dakota. We have Dakota Hudson, and I want nothing to do with him. He's not from there, so it doesn't matter. Going up against Corbin Burns, and Corbin Burns, Mr. Burns. Feeling good about that for my Simpsons people. Just want to back him at this number. I know minus 180 doesn't seem all that enticing, but like Corbin Burns and these Milwaukee Brewers, looking at the playoff landscape for them, you'll want to keep winning baseball games even in this division. Now, they're going to end up third amongst teams. So the Braves win the division, you got the Dodgers winning a division, and you got the Brewers winning their division, already clinched everything there. They're just putting out some horrendous lineups here of late. So I do think you want to pay close attention before firing this one, but it's kind of baked in, right? Did you see St. Louis's lineup today? I knew like half of them. And I do this every day. Let me give you this St. Louis Cardinals lineup from today. You ready? Cardinals lineup today. Give me the starting lineup from today. Why is MLB.com deciding to freeze up right now? This is dumb. This is stupid. This is not what I was looking for during this segment. Hold. Steady. Hold the line. Okay. Richie Palacios, we know who that is. We know Mason Wynn because he's a touted prospect, even though he's batting ninth today. Tommy Edman, you obviously know him. And Lowell's a Newtball, you know him too. Juniel Crisuto. Juan Yepez, the Juan Yepez dispenser, he's back in our lives. Lucan Baker, know him too because he's supposed to have power even though we haven't seen it. And Jordan Walker, this is your life. Another touted prospect, and well, he had flashes throughout this entire season. Gotta learn to hit some righties. But Ivan Herrera catching. Again, Juniel Crisuto. We are absolutely going to make this a parlay piece for the people. I already just, I put the 180 to win 100 half unit done. But just saying, minus 180 might sound not all that enticing, but it is when you compare Corbin Burns to Dakota Hudson for 6 innings. Just saying. Corbin Burns, go do your thing. Just get down with your bad self. Be you, sir. And go Milwaukee. A lot of what I've been talking about here, Pittsburgh, Phillies, last season, they were our playoff team. I'm still kind of searching for who I think can be that team this season. Aaron Nola, he's the big question mark for me with the Phillies because last season I had none of those question marks going into St. Louis, fired them up, bet them to win the World Series. Obviously, we rode that one into the sunset, bet them against the Padres when that showed up, and then World Series ended up hedging out a little bit of that, even though hedging out is generally stupid and I don't advise it. I just had to. You want to bank some of that money when you make a large stand on something. So again, now I would not. I'm in a much, much different spot where I would just let that ride right now. Hi, 2022-2023 NBA season. Can't wait to have you back in our lives. Oh my God, the Drew Holiday news. Notice how I didn't sing Dame Lillard. I just want to point that out. Where Drew Holiday goes is going to change the complexion of the NBA this season. Yeah, you heard it here. Fuck right off. Dame Lillard can't guard you, let alone anybody. Well, James Harden he's going to push off and stutter step and do whatever for Philly. Probably won't even be with Philly anyway. Looking at Philly, though, on this situation, Zach Wheeler is somebody that I think you want to put some bubble wrap on coming into the playoffs here. This will be his last start Thursday, last day of the regular season Sunday. I'm going to miss you. Friday will be the last day of the regular season for me, but don't worry. Monday night, going to be recording Lindy's, getting you ready for Tuesday because the playoffs will start. Wild card. Well, actually, it's not even technically wild card because the 3 seeds playing a wild card. Whatever. Zach Wheeler. We're looking at shorting him here. I'm not even going to talk about the Pirates. It could be Luis Ortiz. I think that's who it probably ends up being, but I'm not positive of that, so don't quote me on it. We don't have the numbers. But Zach Wheeler, I want to see where this K-prop jumps down to because there are enough lefties in this lineup who are going to make contact and be just serviceable that I think this might be a great candidate, similar to with Blake Snell the other day. I didn't end up personally firing it up because it ended up being at 8.5 in a lot of the, 7.5 in a lot of the spots. The books already had that adjusted in. He still went under, and that was lovely for everybody who took advantage. But I think we're looking at maybe a 6.5 or a 7.5 here going up against Pittsburgh for Wheeler. And I don't see a massive pitching upside for him. Why would you have him after you clinch, after you're pretty locked into your spot, go out there and spin it for 100 plus pitches? I understand it's his last start leading into the postseason because you're going to have him start immediately for you. Might be a week off. I got to look at the finishing scale of it here. But 99, 99, 96 pitches his last 3. I have him for 92 pitches here. That's getting me on an under of 7.5 pretty convincingly. So normally on this program, I'm only ever bullish on pitchers where I'm saying, hey, I'm projecting the number out as this. But most of the time you should be shorting K-props. And people in the premium Discord know that I am pretty active, especially against pitchers that like the George Kirby's, even though 3.5, that was a dumb number against Houston. Should have bet that. That was my fault. But normally looking at shorting some of these guys, I'm looking at under 7.5. So 7 or under. I know it says under 7Ks. 7 or under. That is where I am looking at here for Zach Wheeler in the event that there is no news. And this is a standard minus 110 juice. So lots to be determined here. Hit me up on X at Eric Lindquist if you want to know if I end up firing this up. Now, you should definitely be firing this up down in the link below. Go to BetMGM. Get yourself $200 instantly, friends, when you bet $10. Now, it comes in the form of 4 $50 bonus bets. I don't want this to be confusing for you, but those are 4 pretty large bets in comparison to $10 that you have to put down ahead of time. $10 turns into 4 more bets. So 5 bets for a grand total of $210. That's your total investment over at BetMGM. That's a great starting point. If you run really, really poorly and you lose everything, you're going to lose $10. $10. But let's say you win half of your bets, just standard minus 110 juice. That is phenomenal stuff. That is 90 on top of the 10 that you had in. So if you win that $10 bet, sweet, you're over $100. If not, you made just a little less than $100. Look at me doing math on the spot. That is phenomenal ROI right from the get-go. And hey, maybe $10 is an expensive investment here. I totally understand. You could save those 4 $50 bets for the best plays, the absolute can't miss plays on NFL Lindies, on MLB Lindies come the playoff time, or anything of your choosing where you're like, I can't miss this bet. I need it. And I want to get $50 in bonus bets on it. And you're going to get that money back to you immediately. That is great stuff from BetMGM. And then maybe $10 isn't all that much for you, but then 4 $50 bonus bets. It's hard for me to imagine that isn't a great bankroll booster for a lot of people. It is how I started in this industry, was taking advantage of all of these promotions from sports books, building up my bankroll, having money at 5, 6, 7 different books. And now I can take advantage of the best number every single day. So I think you should be doing the same, especially come playoff time. Sign up at the link below, bet $10 over at BetMGM. Get yourself 4 $50 bonus bets up to $200 there instantly into your account. Only if you're 21 and over. And if you have a gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER. Alrighty, y'all, back to the picks. Boston taking on Baltimore. 2.5 games up here. Baltimore is. We're going to do a little check-in here live. 5-1. They're up on Washington going into the top of the 8th. And Tampa Bay just won 5-0. So Tampa Bay winning some games against Boston. Can't find any separation. But gotta say, you look at this. This could be the clinching game here. And yet I still feel like the Boston side, when you talk about Chris Sale, not that Dean Kramer here at home isn't the worst situation, but I am so much more skewed towards lefties in Baltimore than I am righty starting pitching if all things are being equal. And then in this event, they're not equal because Dean Kramer sucks. Chris Sale is really, really good. Just saying. You want to go through Lindy's locks update? I thought there was some really good stuff today talking through how Baltimore's ballpark changes between a lefty starter and a righty starter, how my projections change, how I go about looking at it from a market-based approach over at OddsShopper, and how I put all that information together to probably make a losing bet here in +1.5 with Washington. But again, it's not about being right. It's about making the right bet based on what you feel the implied odds are, or what you project the implied odds are going to be in my instance. So just saying, Chris Sale, I want to see where this number is because Chris Sale doesn't have anything to pitch for here other than pride, other than, just continuing to look good here as he rounds out his season where just another injury plagued season. And now a 4.42 ERA, he's been getting unlucky. He's got a 1.15 whip, and overall this season, he's been dynamic to me. 30.1% K rate, 210 expected batting average, and a 3.62 expected ERA next to that 4.42 actual ERA. So I was going to put lean lock in this situation, but I'm going to just put Boston money line, mainly because Dean Kramer does not deserve your respect as a righty pitcher. Tons of lefties in this Boston lineup. I'm looking at anything better than -160 on the Boston side, and something tells me this is going to be less than that. this could be a lock very, very quickly. So have this one high on your radar. I understand Baltimore. They need to win games. I don't know how to put that and bake that into the numbers. If you get Devers, if you get all the usual suspects, the lefties in this Boston lineup, like you didn't necessarily get today, just saying, slam your body down and wind it all around Spice Girls style. Boston money line, just a lean, but I want this one high on the old queue, like you're a high schooler Netflix and you want to watch a scary movie so you can cuddle. We all pulled that move. Let's not kid ourselves. We were on the under here for New York and Toronto there on, what day was it? Tuesday. Look at me. I know what day it is. Don't mind me. It's Wednesday night, recording this. Thursday's games. Cool. Good talk. Michael King, Kevin Gausman, they took us to the promised land. 2-0. Should have locked that in hindsight. But again, that was more of like a gut feeling. It moved to 7. It was sitting at 7, and that was a pretty glaring number to say, all right, half unit, happy to take profit, move on. One of the few things I feel like I got right on Tuesday, but I only had 3 units in place. So again, I've been a very good boy. Why was that what my brain was going to say? I've always been very practical. It's not even the right word either. I've always been sharp at picking out spots to be lighter on certain days. And today just seems like a spot. There are going to be some heavier plays for me. I'm going to have a lot more than 3 units in play based on my projections, based on the market-based approach over at OddsShopper. So just saying, if you want to join me, check out OddsShopper because there's already some plays that are jumping to the top of the page, looking really, really spicy over there. You can sign up for that at the link below. But Luke Weaver now pitches for the Yankees. Chris Bassett now pitches. Well, he's always pitched for Toronto since his Oakland days. But anyway, Luke Weaver, hopscotch. Seattle didn't want him. The Yankees pick him up on waivers. Has a decent outing there in pinstripes, but in this spot, it's not so much that I'm looking at here with Toronto backing him, because Toronto, they're also one of those teams that's trying to clinch that playoff spot, trying to get in that wild card and make that a done thing. Looking at Toronto's odds going into today, 94.8% chance to make the playoffs, but they're trailing right now to the Yankees, so we're going to be on high alert, life alert. Those were weird commercials. Again, respect your elders, though, Eric. Chris Bassett on the other side. This is where this play really jumps out at me. 9. No, I'm not saying no in German. I'm saying 9 is the total. And there's no way. 9. It should not be 9. 9. Chris Bassett is dynamic when it comes to facing righties on the season. Get this, my friends. Please update spreadsheet. There you go. Chris Bassett, 24% K rate against lefties, but a 209 expected ISO, 246 actual ISO. Against righties, the K rate goes down to 19.7%, but only a 105 ISO and 126 expected ISO. He has nearly a 150 ISO difference in actuality between lefties and righties. That is unflippin' heard of. It is insane. And you know how many times I've ran into Yankees lefties this season that I've been worried about? Answer, none. Anthony Rizzo, gone for like the entire... Remember when we were backing him hit props like every day and cashing everything for the first couple of weeks of the season and then realized he was hurt and you had to do something about it? Simpler times, friends. But it's Jake Bauers and nobody else. It's not Oswaldo Cabrera. I'm not throwing that out there. I'm not worried about him. Chris Bassett should slam here in this spot. I don't want to back Toronto at minus 180, but I want to back the under at 9 because I think Weaver can do just enough. Turn it over to the Yankee pen, which isn't abysmal at this point in time. And then Chris Bassett in a must-win game here for Toronto will have a short leash. It will turn over to bullpen very, very quickly in that event that Chris Bassett is not pitching well. There are lots of ways that this under of 9 covers for it. And it opened at 8 at some books. So I just want to throw it out there. Under of 9, it's minus 115 as it stands right now, and I don't care. It's the best play on the board by far on Thursday. Lock it. I don't know the last time this happened, friends. We have back-to-back locks. Jesus Luzardo going up against David Peterson, who I backed an under with him recently. It didn't go well. But anyway, half unit play. We'll live. Just don't parlay everything together, please. If you're going to parlay things together, parlay the locks to a certain extent. But don't parlay the locks. Don't parlay anything. But Jesus Luzardo, you're going to parlay it anyway. It's not like I'm going to change your mind. But Jesus Luzardo, my friends, this is the spot. Minus 125 here on the Miami money line. And the Mets, they got completely hot. When you're the Mets, you're the Mets. And yeah, the Jets are now playing with Taylor Swift. Kansas City going to be in attendance. Whoop-de-doo. Oh, Yankees are up 6-0. All right, so that makes the Toronto thing pretty solid here. But checking in on Miami and Mets round 2, because of the field conditions yesterday, Mets went completely berserk here. It's 2-2, top of the 5th. Be paying very close attention because there were 2 games to play here, and that's going to change out a lot of what I'm looking at for the projections. But Miami, Marlins, 42.1% chance to make the playoffs. This is an absolute must-win, have-to-have-it kind of spot, especially if they lose here on Thursday night. No matter what, that number doesn't change down to 0. We still have a couple days left here. They're in contention here with Arizona. They're in contention, and Arizona's got the runaway leg up now in that spot, 96.1% chance to make the playoffs, but they're with Arizona here. And then they also have to contend with the Reds, who have jumped up to 13.6% chance to make the playoffs. So lots of ways that this can still kind of play out here. Going to be paying very, very close attention, as will you. But it doesn't change anything here. Luzardo is the way better starter. Peterson is not very good. And now, a doubleheader. You got Alonso and Lindor playing both sides of it. What are we doing here, Mets? Why are you running out your franchise in back-to-back games? There is a very good chance on Thursday that one or both of them rest. You got me? I think one or both of them could definitely be live to rest here. Now, it's not a guarantee, but Alonso and Lindor both played both games on Wednesday in spots that didn't matter other than for pride, other than to like play spoiler or to just inflate their stats. And maybe there's something in their contract that they get to have we're going to do this, we're going to do that, whatever. But I can't imagine a scenario that this sits at minus 125 for long. You need to jam this now. It's minus 122 actually on DraftKings as they just dropped this line. God damn it, I'm going to have to put more money on it. Miami money line, minus 122 over at DraftKings Sportsbook. Please, friends, to the moon. Knox and the moon, the money play, second favorite bet on the board. Only reason is because, again, there's 8s and 9s. That's a pretty large discrepancy here for a game I have at 7.7 runs there for the Yankees. And the Blue Jays, this one, pretty freaking close, though. Back-to-back locks. Enjoy it. Put in your pipe. Smoke it, but only responsibly, of course. The Cubs and the Braves, and my God, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, Darius Rucker was pitching today, or Darius Rivers, or I don't know. Only want to be with you. There's nothing I can do. I tried to think of a Marcus Stroman segue there. Didn't come to mind. Anyway, Cubs, Braves. Marcus Stroman opener here. It's going to change over to Javier Assad, who's been pretty freaking good. 3.07 ERA, 1.23 whip. Marcus Stroman was kind of having a resurgent year up until the injury. 3.88 ERA. Pretty interesting stuff. But yeah, he had a rib deal. Cracked one of those or something. He's out for over a month and a half. Or right at a month and a half, to be exact. But yeah, this will be his now second start since he got back. He had only 3 innings pitched, 64 pitches against Colorado there on the 23rd. But 5 days rest. Should be good to go at least 45, 50. I'm going to have Assad for pretty much the rest of the outing there. You're going to probably turn it over to a closer at some point. But 3 innings, 4 innings of Stroman, 3 innings, 4 innings of Assad, to a closer. Tough spot, I think, for the Braves, if you're asking me. So, Cubs team, they want to keep winning. They need to keep winning. They're sitting there with a 48.1% chance to make the playoffs. That was the other team that I was looking for a second ago when I was talking to Marlins. Marlins, Cubs, Reds, Diamondbacks. Diamondbacks almost for sure in. It would be very difficult after that win, that come from behind win yesterday, for them not to play themselves into the playoffs here at this spot. It would take pretty much losing across the board, but pretty positive. This is a Cubbies or bust spot. Money line on the Cubs yet again. We've been doing it against the Braves. That's never a good feeling. That would be the play here. Plus money, though. Second to last game of the night. Hit the like button, subscribe button, notification bells. We do not know who's going to be pitching in the Dodgers. That's kind of going to be a theme for them the next week or two. I am very nervous Now, maybe Ryan Yarbrough could keep doing what he's been doing, but he's never been a great strikeout pitcher. Now we're seeing strikeouts. I know the Dodgers have revamped some guys, found ways to make them effective, but this used to be like a long reliever type for Tampa Bay. Kind of getting tooled and equipped here by the Dodgers. Never a bad thing. Eduardo Rodriguez, but a 3.78 ERA, 1.14 whip here for Yarbrough. Be paying close attention, though. Lots of ways this lineup can roll out pretty terrible. I think Chris Flexen ends up being the starter. He does not stay flexing in his candy paint, roll and dang, sip a drink on an 84 swing. In fact, he's not tearing up any lanes. He is not tearing up any batters either. Giving up crazy power, 7.01 ERA, 1.69 whip, and on the season, in 96 and a third innings, 23 home runs. Not good when it's like 1 out of every 4 innings you pitch. You're giving up a bomb. You know, starters pitch 5 or 6. It's like a bomb a night. You get a bomb. There's no jokes that make sense for that. People hitting bombs. Max Muncy hits bombs. I'm Max, and I hit dangers. Max Muncy, anything better than plus 270 here in Coors Field? Give me all of that you got against I almost said Christian Flexen. I don't think that's what his parents named it. Chris Flexen, my friends. He's going to give up a yard to Muncy if he's in that lineup. Again, don't bet this on FanDuel ahead of time. Wait for the lineup to drop. Somebody almost irked me with that here today with the Kyle Schwarber thing, but be paying attention. Again, I want you to bet early all the time, but the props don't come out till tomorrow. So, wait to get confirmed on Max Muncy, only if you're betting FanDuel. And FanDuel has been where a lot of the best numbers have been. So, patience, Iago. Patience. And the last game of the night, this one's going to be awesome. The Texas Rangers, Seattle Mariners, only one that's really going on in that late night window. You got the Dodgers, Colorado starting at 8:40 Eastern time, then 9:40 Eastern time. Let's get some AL West goodness in our lives. Those evening games have not started here yet, but I'm looking right now. Yeah, Houston, Seattle, that's going to be epic. Texas, LA, this one matters. Looking at the AL West, you now have a 97% chance for the Rangers to make the playoffs. 59.6% chance for the Astros, 48.6% for the Mariners going into tonight. Now, the Astros and Mariners, this is a gigantic game, followed by the Rangers one away from clinching the division in just about any way you slice it. So enjoy it, friends. Going to be epic here. I'm not expecting much, though, in terms of runs, though. We don't have confirmed starters. They are subject to change here. I would understand if both teams just wanted to go strict bullpen, but they both have epic starters who line up to at least be here. Logan Gilbert, Jordan Montgomery. Logan Gilbert over the course of the season has been epic. 3.75 ERA, 1.09 whip. I'm not completely in love with the hard contact he gives up, but T-Mobile, bring it up all the time. We end up on a lot of unders here, and it has been kind of a print fest for the last year and a half doing so. Early to the party. You can also bet home run props because, again, it plays pretty neutral for home runs, but in terms of run creation, pretty tough in the tight little confines out there. So under 7.5, completely in love with it. If it's Gilbert, and it's going to be Jordan Montgomery. That's what one book has listed here. A couple books actually have that listed here. A couple books have that listed here at the moment. But under 7.5, I like it. Don't go crazy. Half unit. Enjoy that game. And that does it for another edition of Liddy's Leans, Likes, and Locks. Head to that comment section below. Let me know your favorite plays here on Thursday's slate. Hopefully Wednesday treated you well. Hopefully we can get these Twins to cover -1.5. That would be nice. Bet them. Third day in a row here. Oh, God. It's never great when you're all over your own team, especially when you know the public's going to be jumping. Doesn't matter. That's a conversation for a different day. I'll be doing Lindy's Locks update over on X like I always do every single Monday through Friday, giving you video coverage of my favorite plays on the slate and what I think about them, how they change throughout the day. That's a big part of what I do here for you in the premium Discord. You can sign up for that down below as well. But also BetMGM, bet $10, get $200. Let's get ourselves the heck up out of here. Only for 21 and over. If you have a gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER. Thank you, producer Jacob. Until next time, my friends, until the final regular season MLB Lindy's, I'm Eric Lindquist. Best of luck in the MLB streets on Thursday.